Alright, it's time for another episode of Nintendo Kids. Woo! With Christian and Carl. I'm Christian.
And I'm Carl.
And we're back for yet another episode of Nintendo Kids.
Sweet.
It's a show all about Nintendo, past, present, and future, and everything in between.
Right on.
Is there anything in between? What was that?
String theory will prove that eventually.
Yeah, get on that, scienticians. So we have a fun episode today, I think.
Yeah, we're going to cover probably a wide variety of topics, I think, on this one, and
yeah, we're going to try to maintain some level of control and try to fit it all in.
The level of control, we mean follow our outline sitting in front of us.
Right.
And the next item on the list after where it says intro is my section, Carl's Corrections and Clarifications, where I go back and listen to past podcasts and find everything I said wrong and try and correct that. So, here's my list. And bear with me here. I still have not, and I apologize for this, found out when I got my NES or SNES. As soon as I find a working VCR and I can look at those old videotapes, I swear I will get that information, because I know you care. But anyway, moving along. Donkey Kong cereal lasted until the year 1984. At my oldest in 1984, I was 5, and at my youngest, I was 4. So that's, and I remember eating that cereal, so that's probably one of my earliest memories that I could positively, I have in my memory banks there. So that and playing Breakout for the Atari 2600 when I was like 4 years old.
Nice.
Yeah. I mentioned in the last one there was like a 2D Ocarina of Time. Basically what it is they take there's two guys that attempted it. One's name was Richard Denton, but he allegedly died in a car accident, unfortunately. And there was another guy, Daniel Barras, B-A-R-R-A-S, but he has a project going on. There hasn't been too much from the home front on that, so I don't know if it's still in production or what, or development I should say, but it's Ocarina of Time using A Link to the Past's graphics, so that's 16-bit sprite style, and there's screenshots out there. You just Google it, and it actually looks kind of fun. I really want to play it, so I hope the dude makes it, because I would really like to play it. Let's see, the main bad dude in A Link Between Worlds is Yuga.
Yes,
that's how I'm pronouncing it. A Link to the Past's temples in the Dark World go in this order: Palace of Darkness, Swamp Palace, Skull Woods, Thieves Town, Ice Palace, Misery Mire, Turtle Rock, and Ganon's Tower. I mixed them up a little bit. I in fact never died in Skyward Sword.
Oh, cool.
And for the record, I never died in A Link Between Worlds. And I finished it about an hour and a half ago.
All right.
Yeah. So, the witch's name in A Link Between Worlds is Irene. That boss of Thieves' hideout isn't Blind the Thief, though he's clearly modeled after it, but his name is Stowblind. So, definitely, yeah.
Close.
Yeah. The salutes that the sages do, I still need to sort of confirm this, but I'm almost 100% sure that they're the same salutes that the sages will do near the end of Ocarina of Time. And I noticed Impa does the same. The Impa in A Link Between Worlds does the same. Does her best to do the salute that Impa does in Ocarina of Time, because her arms aren't long enough in A Link Between Worlds.
No, they're not.
Let's see. A Link Between Worlds, we would assume, will be part of the Hero is Defeated timeline, as this game comes after A Link to the Past, which is in that particular timeline. Now, whether it becomes before or after the Oracle games, or after even the original Legend of Zelda, or Adventure of Link, I don't know. That to be determined, I suppose. The Sword Girl in Skyward Sword is pronounced Fi, not Fee. Those cute characters in Japan, like Hello Kitty, they're called Kauai, I believe, kind of like the island, not spelt the same. One sentence I said in the last one, I said I don't have a Wii, and I meant Wii U, because I in fact do have a Wii, the video game system.
Early adopter.
Yes.
As a matter of fact.
And tactily is in fact a word.
Oh, hey, that's a good clarification.
And that's all I got.
All right. Well, I think we can step into the news.
Didn't you have a correction you wanted to do?
I did. I had one. Oh, that's good. Thank you for reminding me. I had one correction. The Wii U supports 2 gamepads. Yeah, it will support 2. However, I looked online and I did some research and looked at Amazon and things. You can't buy the gamepad separately. So it comes with the console. You get one. So in order to play a game with 2 gamepads, you have to have a buddy who has a Wii U. And they would need to bring the gamepad to your house.
Wait, you can't buy a gamepad yet by itself?
Not by itself.
What if yours breaks?
I have to assume you gotta ask Nintendo for a new one.
Oh, man. Oh, that sucks. Oh,
Yeah.
oh. How can the system be out over a year, and you can't buy another gamepad?
I don't know. But that kind of defeats, anybody wanting to make a game that supports 2 gamepads, right? Because you're not going to buy a second Wii U.
You said you looked on Amazon? They're not on Amazon even?
No, I found docs for them and things like that, but not an actual gamepad.
Wow, we'll have to research that. I wonder if Nintendo has their own store or shop that they sell them at, only from official Nintendo websites or something. Because Nintendo is really, they're kind of, again, they're very particular about what they sell. There's some things you can only buy from specific Nintendo authorized dealers, though I would assume Amazon would be one, because you could buy Wii controllers and nunchucks and...
Yeah, though if you ever look at Amazon, this is a quick little sidetrack, if you would buy a Wii U or a 3DS, because I recently bought a 3DS XL, and in the process I was kind of looking at Amazon. Amazon doesn't directly sell them to you. It's through, how they sometimes have those third parties that sell through Amazon.
Yeah.
That seems to be where you can get your 3DSs, I think Wii U's as well. So maybe there's something going on there, but I was not able to find gamepads sold separately. So just a little clarification from last time, and I don't know why it is, but
interesting.
It is.
Dear Nintendo, please get on that.
But that was the only correction I had.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, there's some news, some Nintendo news.
I like news.
I do too. We're not really a breaking news show.
No.
By the time you listen to this, and you're listening to this right now, this news is probably going to be at least 2 weeks old.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, and if you're listening to us 5 years down the line, it's going to be really old, and you actually know the fallout from it. So, but start on a good note. The Nintendo 3DS, and that counts the 3DS, 3DS XL, and the 2DS that came out this year. Top-selling console of 2013.
Ooh, very nice. Yeah. Congratulations, Nintendo, on top-selling console?
Yeah, I mean, if you consider the handhelds and the TV consoles.
Okay, as long as they're being grouped together with everything else.
Yep.
And
then, top-selling. So that's pretty good news.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Despite it selling so well, their full-year forecast, which is March to March, so March 2013 to 2014, has been reduced 25% from 18 million sold to 13.5 million sold.
Yee.
Yeah, it's a pretty big cut. But the console itself, handheld console, still doing well. It's doing well. It just didn't live up to the numbers that they originally provided last year. So, unfortunately, these numbers are only going to go downhill from here.
Most likely, yes.
Yeah. Moving on to the Wii U. A lot of people are calling the Wii U a flop, and it would really be hard to argue that, because full-year sales have been cut nearly 70%, from 9 million to 2.8 million units.
Ouch.
Yeah, we talked about the Wii U a lot in episode 2. We didn't really have hard numbers at the time, and we do now, or at least expectations of what they think they're going to sell. And it's actually, I think, a little worse than we thought it was going to be. Not bad. have sold 5.3 million since the launch in 2012, November 2012. It's still really low.
Yeah.
PlayStation 4 and Xbox One came out this past November. They should be beating the Wii U in sales very soon.
Yeah. And if you want to go like... Like if you even want to go for comparison of its predecessor, the original Wii, like, what was that, like within 2 months, was that like at 11 million units sold or something like that?
Yeah, it flew off the shelves. Everybody got a Wii. Even people who don't play games got a Wii.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons why this is happening. We talked about them, I think. Last time.
Yeah, pretty good. I don't think we need to go back into that, really.
So listen to episode 2. You hear a lot more about what we think is wrong with the Wii.
It's just crazy, though. Like, what's his name? Iwata, was it? That said, like, if he didn't reach his 9 million mark, he promised he would reach it, and they're not even close. And
not even close.
But he's not stepping down, so...
He's not stepping down as CEO.
Yeah, so we'll see, but he's gotta deliver on the next one, or... something's got to change, and I don't see anybody lose their job. Of course, he's like, even if he lost his job, he'd still be doing pretty good for himself. I think.
Yeah,
he would not be hurting and like begging for money. I'm pretty sure, but
he's doing okay. But I think he genuinely loves Nintendo. So
I think so too. Yeah.
So I it sounds like they're going to make some kind of changes, but it hasn't really been revealed. It's Nintendo; they're secretive about this stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens in the coming year. Just a few more numbers. They're going to take a $35 billion yen loss, which is 335 million, instead of the forecasted 100 billion yen profit. So that's not good. Here's some good news.
Oh, good.
They're estimated to have about $8.6 billion in the bank. So they can have these losses for the foreseeable future and stay afloat.
I suppose that's good, but you never want to just drain yourself dry. I suppose.
No. They said if we're not making money, we're not winning here. So they're definitely looking to make some changes. The word mobile devices was thrown around. I don't think they're going to get into the business of shifting away from their consoles and doing just Android and iOS games. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
I can see them doing maybe companion apps or maybe a Pokemon game or something on the mobile platforms. I don't know. There could be a whole other episode just on this alone.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems like, I don't want to say it's a no-brainer. I know there's a lot of risks, but Pokemon game on mobile, I think, would just take off like Candy Crush and
there's a lot you can do.
Angry Birds.
Yeah, I don't even think it needs to be a full-fledged Pokemon, like an RPG kind of game. It could be,
those trading cards for
out
loud, just in digital format.
Yeah, there's a lot of options they can do. I just hope they make the right decisions.
Yep.
I guess we won't know until they try it and we'll see what happens.
I'm curious. I wonder if this will either. Again, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but hasten their next console, whenever that is. I mean, the Wii U has only been out for 1 year, but if in order to stop the bleeding, if they just we better shift all our resources into a console that people actually want to play and buy. Just cut our losses and move on. I wonder.
Yeah, I had a kind of was brainstorming a few options that they have, and by brainstorming, it's really kind of just reading some of the other options that people have posed, and I might have come up with some modification of one maybe. But here's a few things. They can make games for tablets and phones, like we just said.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really in favor of that, but make games for Xbox One and PS4. I'm not in favor of that.
Yeah, me neither. That's almost like admitting defeat at that point. That's going Sega.
Yeah. I'm not in favor of that. Focus on the 3DS and write off the Wii U. I'm not completely opposed to that because it's obvious that they're doing something right with the 3DS. I know sales are a little below, but it's doing well. To write off the Wii U completely, you're going to leave a lot of your fans out in the cold that already bought one. I know it's only a couple million. But, it always leaves a bad taste in your mouth when the company abandons you. So I'm not totally opposed to it, but
certainly not as much resources pushed towards it, I would say. Like 25% of your resources toward making Wii U games and 75% towards other solutions, whatever they be, a new console or whatever.
The last one I had, and this is I think the one that's a little bit of a modification of what's out there. I think we talked about this one last time. Basically do a relaunch of the Wii U, but with the classic controller and a much lower price range, like $200 maybe. And then accept the fact that you're going to be the second or third console in the living room. You've seeded the market in that case. You're not going to be the winner, and you know that. But you're going to put yourself in the position of the number 2 or the number 3 for those that have all the consoles. And you're going to put out. Now when I'm saying saying Nintendo, put out a selection of just strong first-party titles. Third party's probably going to be pretty weak. And just kind of ride it off for a little while, a couple of years until you're ready to get the next one out. You're still maybe putting a new console out earlier, but you're not writing off the Wii U completely. We kind of talked at length last time about the gamepad, and it's not really being used to its full potential. So the little reworking and focusing on just the classic controller, I don't know. It might pick up some sales.
Yeah. I could see the hastening of putting a new system out. It's the GameCube came out in 2002?
Yeah.
And the Wii came out in 2006. That's a 4-year turnaround. The original Wii lasted 6 years before the Wii U came out. So I don't think it's unreasonable or far-fetched to think that the next Nintendo system might come out in 2 to 3 years. Hasten it, kind of like, because the GameCube wasn't doing probably as good as they wanted to. I don't think it wasn't a failure. I don't think, but I'm sure it wasn't doing what they wanted to do.
Yeah, its numbers were far behind PlayStation 2. Of course, everything.
Yeah, PlayStation 2 kind of owned the world.
Yeah, but even the original Xbox, held its own.
Yeah,
against Nintendo.
It did.
So, yeah, actually, and it came out in the United States in 2001, November 2001. So
yeah.
Practically. Yeah, it was. Yeah, so that's really the news that I have. It was big news. I thought, it's not breaking. It's by the time you listen to it, this will be a couple weeks old. But it happened, and important. It's Nintendo news that we had to discuss at some point. So.
Right.
So moving from news onto. Returning to our "What Are You Playing" segment.
All right.
And you had mentioned you finished A Link Between Worlds.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is what I was playing. If you ask me what I was playing, I'm playing Link Between Worlds, but I just finished it today. I actually put off playing it for the past week because I knew I would have to sink some time. I thought the temple I was at was the last temple. For some reason, it just made me think the ice temple was the last temple, and it's not. So I'm like, all right, this probably gonna be a little bit longer than the regular temple, so I need like an hour block for this. So, but I also want to finish it before this podcast. So today I made sure I set aside 2 hours, which was good because after the ice temple, which is up where Turtle Rock is in A Link to the Past. After that, you go to the main palace in Lorule and go through that, which really isn't that bad of a temple. But it reminds me a lot of the temple in Wind Waker with a boss rush in it.
Oh yeah.
Because you have to fight four bosses, I think, in Wind Waker, in order to go through that door to go and fight Ganon. So kind of the same concept here. But spoiler warning. So I'm going to talk about some more endings. If you want to skip ahead, skip to the time 24 minutes 10 seconds, and that's when we'll stop playing it, talking about Zelda. I will edit in that actual time later. So turns out, again, spoiler warning, that Princess Hilda pulls a fast one on you.
Yeah.
And she's kind of in cahoots with Yuga, the whole time, because they're apparently Low Rule had a Triforce, and it was screwing everything up, so everybody decided it was a good idea to destroy it for some reason. Not thinking like, hey, maybe we could just use this for good, or hide it away like Hyrule did or something. No, it's like, no, let's smash it and destroy it and wish it away. And so Low Rule was in like a world of crap and basically turned into the Dark World. So the best solution Hilda could come up with is go and steal Hyrule's.
Yeah.
And with Yuga's help, of course, Yuga goes and double crosses her, and he wants the Triforce all for himself. And
kind of becomes like Ganon-ish.
Yes, yeah, he becomes that pig form, which is a theme for enemies in the Zelda games. He kind of has those red hair in the locks, a la Ganondorf and Dark Beast Ganon, which actually that's a spoiler for you, so I won't say anything. So yeah, this is actually an interesting battle because you're fighting an enemy that has 2 pieces of Triforce as opposed to 1 or all 3. Because in A Link to the Past, Ganon has the entire Triforce. Like he went and he stole the whole thing, because you go and get it in that room afterwards. And in Wind Waker, and a couple other games, you have the Triforce of Courage, Ganon has power, and Zelda has wisdom, and so you're going one-on-one with the Triforce. But this one's weird because you actually grab that second Triforce, so it's like, wisdom and power versus courage. Spoiler, courage wins. Hell yeah. But yeah, it was interesting. So, but after you kicked the crap out of Yuga, which was actually a really entertaining boss battle, I gotta say.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Especially the last arrow of light you shoot at him, because you do get the arrow of light, so you have to go inside the wall to shoot it at him.
Yeah, which is neat.
Yeah, but I couldn't figure out how to get that last arrow to because he kept on blocking them, so I pretty much went to the outside of the wall and just fired towards his back, and it does this like epic like slow motion follow of the arrow as it travels as a painting through the wall and shoots him right in the back, and it's like, yeah, gotcha. And after it's all said and done, Princess Hilda comes to, because Yuga turns her into a painting also, and she realizes she was wrong. And Ravio, I used to call him Rovio, I misread that, but it's Ravio. He turns out to be the Low Rule version of Link.
Yeah, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, me too.
And you know what? It never occurred to me. I was like, there's got to be something with this dude, but it never in a million years would have pieced it together. And then afterwards, I'm like, he's wearing that bunny rabbit suit, which you become a bunny rabbit in A Link to the Past when you first go to the Dark World.
Oh, yeah. Jeez, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. And he seems to have all the tools you need. And I don't know. I never thought he was that important.
Wow, that's really interesting. Because you go... Wow, huh.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah, he's basically Link with black hair.
Yeah.
And obviously, since he doesn't have any sort of Triforce of Courage, he says he's a coward, and he runs away instead of helping Princess Hilda and everything, so... But in the end, it's very nice because Zelda and Link, they touch the Triforce and they wish for Low Rule to get its own new Triforce.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing about this, and this is my last point make about it, is that Princess Hilda was very admirative of the power, courage, and wisdom virtues of the Triforce, as if that was foreign to her. So it makes me wonder, like, what were the Triforces that Low Rule had?
Yeah, they may not have been the same virtues.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah. So that's what I got. Christian, what are you playing?
Well, since I finished A Link Between Worlds, I picked up Ocarina of Time 3D. Well,
excellent.
You got it for me for Christmas, actually.
That's right.
And picked it up, popped it in my 3DS, and I started playing. And man, I gotta say, this is the first time I've really played through the game since 1999. I got it on the Virtual Console on the Wii, and I was tinkering with it, but I never really played through it again. So to play it this time again, it felt new.
That's
There was
good.
a lot of stuff I forgot.
That's
and
good.
It made it, a lot of fun.
Well, I am going to say, and I know I mentioned this in the previous podcast, but if I say ocarina, I know it's supposed to be pronounced ocarina, but I grew up saying ocarina, so that might slip out. There's a lot of other words I might mispronounce. Like I say Deku. I think it's supposed to be Deku, but I don't know. I say Saria instead of Saria. My brain just it picks pronunciations of these words that they're made up words. So that's usually what I stick with. I don't know what they're supposed to be like Garahim in Skyward Sword will always be Garahim in my mind because that's how I first. I'm like, that's his name, Garahim, but I guess it's Garahim, kind of like Aghanim. But my brain, didn't want to sound like Aghanim, so it, that's it. Fun fact: Aghanim was a priest in Link to the Past.
Yeah.
But thanks to Nintendo's anti-religious type thing, they're like, he's a wizard. That's right. But anyway, please continue.
Yeah, it is the graphic. We touched on this briefly once before. Graphics in this game are so good.
A lot better
compared to
so much
the
better.
original and the N64 and the Virtual Console and everything. I just was blown away.
Makes sense. The 3DS XL probably is faster, better hardware than the Nintendo 64.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm not sure if the same tricks are in use here. I would assume they don't need to do it anymore. But did you know in Ocarina of Time on the N64, they only put into memory the stuff that you were actually looking at?
Yeah, well, it's only in front of the camera. There's nothing behind you.
Yeah, they couldn't keep it all in memory, so it's pretty clever.
Yeah.
I would assume that they're not doing that in Ocarina of Time 3D, but who knows? But yeah, graphics are great. I really, really think it's just eye-popping. I mean, I know it's not HD or anything, but it's just great looking. I think they adapted it really well for the portable system. Sometimes you play these games that were meant for a different system, and you could tell it was. I don't know. I fit right into this thing, and I like having the touchscreen. I almost feel like I'm never leaving the game. It was really well done, and the one thing I think I could wrap a lot of my opinions of this by talking about the water temple.
Oh,
yeah.
I started playing Ocarina of Time back over the summer as soon as I got my 3DS, and I'm at the water temple right now, and I really want to play it because I want to see how much different it is in this new one, because I heard it's a lot easier, because in Nintendo 64 it's notoriously difficult.
Yeah, and I think it's to a fault. Too difficult, in my opinion. But I always felt it was more difficult than it needed to be, and a lot of it was because you get lost, and there's different levels that you have to keep the water, and there was a lot going on, and there wasn't a lot of differences in the look of the level. So
right.
For me, I tended to get lost a lot. In this one, do you want me to say it's not?
I think I read some of the differences that actually tells you like what the water levels are and everything. Yeah,
there's a couple different colors. They're like bands or streaks, I guess, on the wall. Of the areas where you need to go to, and it kind of helps point the way to get to like the different levels. So if it's like, oh boy, I need to get the water to like the medium level, you know where to go. You know, at least know the path.
Okay, that's a big help.
Yeah.
Of course, damn kids are so coddled these days. Back when I played Ocarina of Time on Nintendo 64, I got to lose my way for hours before I could find my way.
Yeah, I really stumbled, I think, when I played it on N64. I remember being in there a while, and I actually hated it. Like, when I finished it, I'm like, thank God. I did forget that Dark Link was in there, the Shadow Link. I love that room. When you walk in...
That room is so freaking amazing.
Yeah, you see that tree, and there's like the fog kind of stuff on the ground. And I knew what I was in for when I walked into it. For some reason, I thought it was in the Shadow Temple, the one that's under the Kakariko Village, but I was wrong, and I was pleasantly surprised when I opened the door, and I'm like, oh, it's the Dark Link part. So I really enjoyed seeing that again, and it's cool when you defeat him, and like the illusion goes away, and you're like, oh, this is a big square room.
My rendition, my story for it was, and I think my brother was, and possibly my sister were there with me when I made it there, but I remember going through the water temple, and I got the map, and I just looked in this one area, and like there's this giant square room, and I'm like, there's something weird about that. It's like there's no room like that was that big in any other maps, and the fact that it was a giant square, and it was just there on the map ominously, and as I was working my way through it, I'm just like, boy, there's just something weird about that room. I wonder what's in there. And then, you open up the door, and then you're just in this room with the white hazy fog that just seems to go on forever in every direction, and I'm just like, oh man, this is not good. This has to be bad. This is very bad. And then I didn't see the tree at first, actually, so I was running around and everything, and then I'm like, what am I supposed to do in here? And then I turned around, and I saw the little island with the tree, and I'm like, ooh, this is gonna be so bad. I don't know what it is, but it's gonna be so bad. And then run up to the tree and you hear like the really demonic laugh, and he appears, and I'm like, oh shit, oh no,
memories of Zelda 2 come rushing in your head.
And I'm like, oh man, oh crap. And I actually consider him probably one of the toughest bosses in that game.
Yeah, he's not too bad if you're patient and you're really paying close attention, but if you just go in there kind of like hacking and slashing, it makes a really difficult fight.
Yeah, and I have a bad habit of doing that.
I do too.
I mean, I know there's ways you could like cheat your way through them by using dense fire and other things, but I can't. Out of respect, I have to go sword and board against them. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. The other thing about the water temple, this is Ocarina of Time in general, but it worked really well in the water temple, is that they've made the boots items that you can equip to. While there's X, there's Y. On the touch screen, there's 1 and 2, and the Ocarina has its own button. It's always there. So, it's a little nicer for item management. But the boots are great because, in N64, you had to pause the game, you had to go and equip the boots, and then
terrible.
It'd start sinking. So now,
so annoying.
You could pretty much jump in the air, tap the button, your iron boots get put on, and you'd sink right in the water. And it just makes the flow a lot easier.
Kind of like in Skyward Sword, which was, I also had the boots. You could assign them to, one of the directional keys on the Wiimote and jump in the air, like in Goron Mines. So you could jump off something, throw on the boots, and then you get sucked by some magnetism towards a wall. So yeah. That water temple. I'm glad it's a little bit easier because such a pain in the butt that first time. And I want to know who the cruel, inhuman developer that decided to hide an area in a central column underneath that one platform that rises up when the water does.
Yeah.
It took me forever. Again, it's one of those things it took me so long to discover, where is this design? I can't remember what's under there. If it's a treasure chest or something with a key. And I'm like, there's got to be somewhere else to go. What am I supposed to do? And then you finally find, you're like, ugh. This temple isn't hard enough. You're hiding areas to go to now. And
yeah, that was a brutal level. But it's actually, it was kind of enjoyable this time around. I wouldn't say I loved it, but I liked it. So I moved on from there. I actually just finished. I beat Bongo last night.
He's a jerk. I don't like him.
He's tough. He's probably the hardest boss I've gotten to this point. From what I remember, the hardest boss for me in the entire game is at the end of the Spirit Temple. It's that
Twin Rova.
Twin Rova. That one I had the most difficult time with. I'm curious to see if I have the same issues this time around.
Bongo was one of the few bosses that killed me my first time playing Ocarina of Time on the N64.
Yeah, it's a tough fight. It's not too... I mean, once you figure out what you're supposed to do, it makes it easier because you kind of know what to do to make it go quick. But man, his hand attacks for some reason, I wasn't able to dodge a lot of them the way I expected to. I'm like, the hand's gonna come down, I'll dive out of the way, and he'd still hit me.
And if you run on arrows, it's
immensely difficult.
Yeah, you have to go through a lot just to get a few arrows back, and bad memories of that place.
Yeah, but
I have a lot more to talk about that game when we actually do an actual podcast on that. So.
Yeah, I think we will probably talk about that game more in depth in a standalone episode. But that's what I'm playing right now.
Cool.
Really enjoying it.
I'm also playing on the side of Super Scribble Knots as well.
Oh man, Scribble Knots is such a good game.
Yeah,
it's
fun.
I have it on the. No, I don't have it on the DS. I actually think I got it on my phone or something a while back because they released it on the phones. And amazing. Some of the things you could, like, I don't know how Super Scribble Knots is, but, like, I remember the first time there was a level and it was like, kill all the dinosaurs, and I'm like, well, sure, they're not going to have some virus. So I typed in virus, and this, like, thing appeared on the screen, and all the dinosaurs died.
Yeah, I mean, it had, and yeah, you could pretty much do anything. I did something like that, except I cannot remember for the life of me what it is. There was one where it's like you had to do something that 4 characters on the screen liked, and there was a king, a butler, a cheetah, and I can't remember what the other guy was.
What a weird combination.
Yeah, I ended up having to wear a gold spotted suit in order to appease the butler, the king, and the cheetah. And I was able to get 3 of them up to a point in that, but the cheetah wouldn't like anything I did. I was good at most of the time. I had like a gold suit, which the king and the butler and the other guy liked. But I'm like, what could the cheetah like? So I'm trying like shoes, trying like meat. You know?
Yeah, well, sure.
I'm trying like maybe get like some like gold antlers or like gazelle antlers or something. But none of that was working. But yeah, that's what I'm playing right now. I actually bought that game for my girlfriend for Christmas. She's not really a gamer. I'm like, I need something that's like very simple. I need something that's very simple because she's not really a gamer, but but even this, like, it's a little bit, I don't want to say it's complex because she's not dumb. It's just she's not a gamer, so it's some things are foreign to her. So I don't know. Maybe I'll try Animal Crossing or Nintendogs. She's bugging me to get a dog, so maybe I'll get Nintendogs and hold her over with that.
You'll be happy with this one. It's a puppy that never dies.
That everybody wants.
Yeah, everybody loves puppies in the game. Yeah.
So, I guess we can move on to our main topic, right?
Yeah.
That's it for the What Are You Playing? So, the main topic we decided we were going to talk about today was, being that it is January and it's winter time out, and actually it was snowing today, it's playing games on snow days.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you're a kid, you're in school, it snows, you don't go to school. Or you get a delay or something like that. But if you don't go to school, it's like you need something to do. So video games were that time sink.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's been a few episodes since we talked nostalgia, so it's a good way to kick it off. You know, I know there's a lot of people that are like, kids should go outside. We did do that. We did a lot of snow tubing and things, and
building snow forts and having snowball fights and everything.
Yeah.
So we didn't just always sit in front of the TV.
No, but we'd be outside, and then it's time to come in because you're soaking wet or it's getting dark or whatever, and we'd come in and play some games, some Nintendo, some Super Nintendo. I think by the time N64 came out, we were kind of in the later part of high school, so not so much that one, but. I have a lot of fun memories of playing.
Yeah, me too.
Snow days. The original Legend of Zelda, I remember playing a lot of for some reason.
Yeah.
That's
right, yeah.
Yeah, I know I got it for Christmas the year after I got my Nintendo, and it might have been the Blizzard of '92. So there was just like a whole week.
You
like not
snowed
working.
in,
We're not working. Yeah, not going to school. So I think I played a lot of it around that time. So that was a good one. I have fond memories of WWF Royal Rumble.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, was that in the wintertime?
You know what? We played that a lot in the summertime too. I think I remember having a SummerSlam party. And I remember, I think everybody who came over, we were all playing that game. But I remember playing that in the winter specifically because my Nintendo and my Super Nintendo were always in my parents' basement. It wasn't a completely finished basement, but
mostly finished.
It was mostly finished, and we had the TV down there and all the kids' toys and stuff. Like my sister and I had all these things down there, but the games are always down there. I came home from like being out snow tubing and everything with you,
right?
And at that point I had a little 13-inch TV that my parents got me. I don't know if it was that year before or whatever, and it just I'm like, you know what? It's cold in the basement. I'm gonna bring this upstairs, and and I remember playing Royal Rumble for some reason. That was like the first game I played when I moved it upstairs.
Nice. It's for some like. For me, one of the ones that sticks out for me is Super Mario Brothers 3.
Oh yeah.
I think we started playing that in the fall, and every time I came to your house, it was almost to play that game.
Yeah.
So, that for me, that's the one that probably sticks out the most in my head, because that game just floored me when it came out. Like when he first showed it to me, Double Dragon 2 was another one.
Man, we played the hell out of that game.
Yeah, that was a really, really fun game. So and one thing that I liked about Super Mario Bros. 3, and for some reason I don't know if it was coincidence or I just associate this, but the Iceland, was such a neat level in Super Mario Bros. 3. Probably one of my favorite snow themed type levels, but it was so weird because I remember when we played that, we would just play in chunks at a time, and wherever we had a warp whistle and felt like going that day.
Yep.
So I never play that game in order. You always start off in Grassland, but then we'll always use the warp whistle and we go to Skyland and Desertland, and next time we play, we'd go to Pipeland, and next time I play after that, we'd go to Big Island, and I just couldn't believe, man, there's so many levels in this game. And then the first time we took me to Iceland, I was like, wow, this is a really neat land, and the music is even it kind of gives you the chills. Just it's a theme is really very crystalline sounding.
Yeah,
it's really, really neat. So and that world in particular really blew me away because it just seemed to go on forever. I think it's 3 or 4 screens wide. And I'm
it has the most levels in the world. Every world in that game has 6 or 7 or 8 levels. That one, if I remember, had I think 10.
I want to say there's 10 also.
Yeah.
I'll look that up.
That doesn't count those little
the fortresses.
The fortresses, yeah. These are specific just levels. They
are actually numbered. Ones that are actually numbered. Yeah, that was really cool. So and the levels being all themed with ice and snow is just neat because you run. It's really common now in games, but you're playing Mario, a 2D platform, you're running, and you have no traction, and it's neat to see him in that skidding position.
Yeah.
And he just slides for 2 or 3 seconds, and it just I don't know, everything was really cool. You have ice blocks you could pick up and kick at people, and there was things frozen in ice that if you had fire flower, you could melt them with a fireball.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was really, really neat.
Yeah, that's that world is. If you weren't going to mention it, I was actually. That's always been a memorable one. I think I most of the time skipped it. Like you had said, play it. We kind of bounce around with the warp whistles, and I think that was one I tended to avoid more because of its length.
It is a really long world.
I thought I want to just finish the game, and I'd skip it. But
and it's one of the tougher ones, I think. And I think
it is. The ice adds a dynamic. I think that for me, that was newish. Having ice in a game that actually affected you walking on the ground and timing your jumps a little differently.
Yeah, there's traces of it. I remember in Super Mario Bros. 2 in World 4. If you walked on those ice blocks, it would take a couple seconds for you to stop.
Yeah.
Which that was also a cool level in Super Mario Bros. 2, the World 4 with you go up. And there's those flirt. You have to run on one long straightaway, and there's Bezos coming at you from the opposite direction, And every now and then there'd be like flurries that you'd have those little guys look like white cotton candy with feet.
Yeah.
And you have to jump over them. Yeah, that was a pretty cool level too.
For me, playing a lot of these games kind of played a part in coming up with some imaginative indoor-outdoor activities in the winter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple of them, but my sister and I actually, I remember we took some porch furniture, because in the wintertime my parents would take the porch furniture, put it in the basement, play area,
Right. That's right, they did.
Yeah, but it was a big area, so it never, it didn't really crowd things.
I never really thought about it, as a kid. It was just stuff in the way, or
right.
Well, I don't want to say stuff in the way, stuff that it was there. We'd find some use for it, whether it was like a castle fort for He-Man characters
right.
or whatever. But I never thought about it. It's like that was the basement for your parents to store stuff in,
right.
but it was
happened to play down there.
Yeah.
But the one time, my sister and I built an F-Zero racer out of some of the porch furniture and blankets.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
It was like a big deal. I was like, "We did it! We finally made it!" And it was, it didn't look anything like an F-Zero racer, but like we got inside of it and pretend to be racing against Samurai Goro or whoever.
Samurai Goro.
Yeah.
What a weird name.
Yeah, come to think of it. Yeah. And then we also had a Zelda-like world where I was kind of the adventurer and she ran a store and she'd sell So that was kind of fun too. We always come up with odd stuff like that, and they were always kind of themed off of Nintendo stuff. I know one in particular, and I don't know if this was necessarily wintertime, but you came up with it. It was in my basement, and there was just a regular table lamp kind of thing down there, and you used it to kind of point toward you while you had this plastic katana sword that I had, and a pillow, and then it looked like, kind of referencing what we talked about a few minutes ago, Link versus Dark Link, because because the shadow would go up on the wall in front of you. Yeah,
Shadow Link. That's right. Yeah, and pretty much having a fight with my own shadow, a la the Adventure of Link. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was cool.
I remember that. I remember as a kid being so impressed with how the pillow's shadow looked like a shield. I'm like, oh yeah, man, I'm smart. I'm got an imagination here, man. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, I don't remember. Remember you had that beanbag? You had a beanbag chair, and I can't remember what we were playing. I want to say, or playing around with, but I want to say we imagined it was one of those giant bots from Adventure of Link, and they could swallow us up. And we're like, you just crawl underneath and like, being eaten by a bot. To us, it was like just a blob-like character, and we had the Link's katana blade sword, and had to cut our way out of it and everything. Yeah, Nintendo actually played like a big part on just things we played growing up. Oh, remember that? You remember we built Princess Toadstool out of Legos?
Yeah.
At one time, and we had your Mario characters. They were actually like plastic Mario characters. Those ones, I think they were like those type you could squeeze the shoulders and they could grip onto things.
Yeah.
But we didn't have a princess for them to go rescue. You had Mario and Luigi. I think you also had like a Goomba from a McDonald's Happy Meal.
He was from a McDonald's Happy Meal.
And I think a Paratrooper from a McDonald's Happy Meal as well.
Yep.
But we didn't have Princess Toadstool to go and save, so we built a really cheesy one out of Legos.
That's right.
And then I can't remember exactly how the storyline took, but somehow she got thrown against the wall and exploded and and it's like, oh man, Princess Toadstool got killed. Oh, poor Princess Toadstool. She got broken in half.
Yeah.
Koopa won, I guess.
I guess he won that one. Yeah. I remember one time, this was at your house actually.
I think you probably know where you're going with this one because I was going to mention it next. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead actually.
I was going to say the one I was thinking of was vaguely remember we were just playing around, and but in my room was some sort of magical portal to different worlds.
Yep.
And they warped us to like different video game themed worlds, and we were just like, where are we in now? And it's like, we must be in Castlevania land. How can you tell? Well, look at the way we're walking, and we do this weird strut, but you can't.
You gotta play like Castlevania 1 or 2 and just see like the motions. They're real stiff.
It's real stiff, very exaggerated arm waving, and like sort of like a rocking motion of your head back and forth. Here we are doing it in like, in front of the microphones. You can't see us, but it was it's funny. We were in Castlevania land. We gotta be. Look at the way we're walking.
Yeah,
that was the one that stuck. I'm sure we went to other worlds, but that one's the one because it was just so funny.
That's the one I remember.
Yeah. Oh, that was so great. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we played a lot of games that I have a couple others that I have written down, like F-Zero. I was playing a lot of F-Zero in the wintertime.
What was that F-Zero world where there was ice and wintry themed? What was it called? Crap, Whiteland.
Whiteland,
and Whiteland 2.
Yeah, was that the one that had 3 of them? Was it 3? No, that was
Mute City had 3.
Mute City.
Port Town had 3, I believe. No, Port Town 2. This will be in my Carl's corrections next time. There's 2 Death Winds, but I'm pretty sure there was only 2 Whitelands, and if I recall, Whiteland 2 had that gigantic jump that
you're right.
Basically almost needed that super thruster to get. I mean, you can make it without it, but you have to be pretty much going fast. If you didn't make it on your first lap, you were screwed.
Yeah.
But that was a fun level.
Yeah.
One thing for me, or did you have something? You started something before I cut you off with the F-Zero thing.
Oh no, F-Zero was when I played a lot. The original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game on the Nintendo, I played a lot of in the wintertime. And one that I played a lot in the wintertime was Tetris. I got that for Christmas when I got my Nintendo. And I remember I was like, Mario and stuff. I don't know, it's a puzzle game. And it was like maybe 3 or 4 weeks after Christmas, and I think we had a snow day, and I just decided to pop it in, and that's kind of when I fell in love with that game, and I still play it to this day. Not the NES one.
Right.
But
everybody loves Tetris.
Yeah.
How could you not love Tetris?
Yeah.
Currently, right now, I almost have my own little wintertime video game things that I kind of do every year, and just about every year. All right, maybe not every year, but as close as I can to every year. But I have these games I usually start in November, but one of them is Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. I kind of try and play that, though I haven't played it the last 2 years. But after it came out, I would only play it, like, I'd start it in November. So I would usually finish it sometime in January or February, and then give myself the rest of the year to forget as much about it as I can, so it seemed as new as possible. But that's a good wintertime game for me. It seems like the type of game I want to play in the wintertime. And the other one is Silent Hill Shattered Memories.
Oh, that's a good,
yeah, which is I almost feel like it needs to be played in the wintertime.
Yeah,
because the whole game, it's one of my favorites, and the whole game is pretty much set in the wintertime, because it's snowing throughout that game. Instead of fog, they almost use like a lack of vision from snow, like a whiteout type thing, and the game does such an amazing job of conveying coldness and isolation, as the Silent Hill games do.
Yeah.
But that one in particular had a pretty interesting effect on me, to the point where I really can't go out in snowstorms without thinking of that game. Kind of getting like a little bit of a shudder, especially like in wintertime after daylight savings time ends, and I usually go to work before the sun's a few hours before the sun even comes up. So if it's snowing and I go out the back, and there's only light from like the street lamp, and it's like, ooh, this just reminds me a lot of Shattered Memories, and just wait for my phone to start work, like getting static on it and everything.
Picking up strange phone calls.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that's a good game. I didn't even think about talking about that one. And I played that on the PSP. It wasn't quite the same experience as you, but it is the same game. And we did run into differences.
Yeah,
it was always cool.
Yeah,
but yeah, you're right. That's a really good game to play in the wintertime.
It is. It's just if you haven't played it, I highly recommend it. If you like Silent Hill games,
yeah, on the Nintendo Wii.
On the Nintendo Wii, yeah. If you have a Wii, I highly suggest that one because the Wii version, I think, a little slightly more interactive because since you use a flashlight so much, I think it's one of the few games where having a Wiimote actually makes sense because you point the flashlight with the Wiimote. It's almost like holding a real flashlight. And also, whenever you get phone calls on your cell phone, you hold the Wiimote up to your ear and it sounds like you're talking on the cell phone. It's helps immerse you into the game a lot more. And, just helped me a lot immerse myself. So I highly recommend that game. It's if you like the survival horror and the creepy games, absolutely check it out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other snow type themed levels from other games that I think are really cool. Like I mentioned Twilight Princess before, but Snow Peak in Twilight Princess is one of my favorite areas in any Zelda games because it's I don't know, maybe I just like snow and isolation for themes, but I don't know. Snow Peak I think was just done really well. This could be my bias towards Twilight Princess being done well. I'm one of those people that thinks Twilight Princess was an amazing game. It seems like the majority of people don't, but I really, 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 really liked it.
Yeah, I did too.
So Snow Peak, I think, was such a great area because it. I don't want to
look like a dungeon.
Well, I'm not even going to the ruins yet. I'm just talking about
that
outside,
area.
like the actual mountain aspect of it. I thought the music is haunting. It's very, it's just like that choir in the background, just holding a note, and then single notes being plucked on I guess, or hit on xylophone. I don't know. It's MIDI, so whatever. But it's just really, really creepy, really haunting. Perfectly conveys a sense of coldness, isolation, loneliness, and almost helplessness. And running up that mountain is really cool. And then you have to turn to the wolf and use your beast senses to track. It's just really neat. But like you're mentioning, the Snow Peak ruins is really cool because it's not like a temple; it's a house.
Yeah,
it's different in that aspect, and going through it, you're not going through just to find items. You're going through to try and help somebody by getting their medicine, essentially. So it's just a really neat level, and it's a really cool level and a really cool game. And I want to talk more about that in a future podcast. I won't go into too much more detail on it anyway. Going back to Super Mario series, Super Mario World, Vanilla Dome, ice themed, not snow themed or winter themed, but it was interesting because it's indoors, and that was one of the first times in a 16-bit console that I recall. Well, that was one of the first 16-bit games I played, but going to the Vanilla Dome, and since you're in caverns, you jump and there's reverb. Everything you do, you kick a Koopa shell, there's reverb on everything. It's like, wow, this system is so amazing. The graphics are amazing. And listen to that sound, so crisp, and echo effects. Wow. So but that's Vanilla Dome's cool, and I think it has a really, really groovy theme song.
Yeah, it does.
It's pretty much just like bass and drums, but I like the drums at the end where it's like before it goes back into the loop. It's really, really neat. And even sticking with Super Mario Brothers, new Super Mario Brothers Wii, I like World 3, which is the winter level. I think it has some very cheerful music, very wintry type sounding music, and I think the levels are pretty cool. The penguin suit's a pretty neat little item you could get.
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
Yeah. But that's I don't know, it's pretty neat. I probably like that world most of all, I think, out of all of them, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have a recent ice-related level that I really liked, and actually that was the Ice Temple in Link Between Worlds.
Oh, that was a good temple.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the music in it. I thought the music was really, really
yes,
cool.
Yes.
It was subtle. It wasn't, it was almost a little sparse in its effects. But the whole dungeon itself, temple itself, the whole thing was just kind of neat.
Yeah. There's that. I like that concept of like that main elevator, conveyor belt elevator, so you can pretty much go between floors at will.
Yep.
It was really neat. Me and my sense of my fear of heights, all those catwalks in that level.
Ooh, yeah.
Whoa, had my knees like shaking the entire time. I hate that. Did you have the upgraded fire wand before you went in?
Nope, never got it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, that thing was a godsend in that level.
Really?
Because I had it, and it's like it destroys everything because you throw it out, it just creates this like column of fire that just goes across the entire like.
That would have really helped me.
Yes. Yeah. And any of those ice gargoyles that just like decimate, including that giant one that was on the middle of that one island.
Yeah.
And I just one shot with that, gone.
Oh man. Yeah, I never got that. I actually never bought the ice wand or the fire wand. I only rented it. I got to the end of the game. I'm like, there's no need to purchase it now. I never did.
Out of curiosity, did you remember what approximately your total rupee count was at the end?
No, I don't. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, interesting. This game, first for me, is that it tallies the rupees you collect at the end.
Yeah.
It tallies how many times you died and the rupees you collect for some reason. I was at 22,000.
Wow, I don't think I was that high. For some reason,
I wonder if it counts ones that you collect, even if your wallet's full.
Yeah.
Because I collected so many rupees that my wallet was full for almost the entire ice temple, the entire Gans Tower.
Oh, really?
Because if you beat the that boom boom tower thing, you get so much money.
I didn't beat it. I was in it.
If you beat the advanced level,
yeah,
like you did the beginner level, I'm
I did the
assuming,
beginner
right?
level, yeah.
Well, in the advanced level, at the end when you finish, they throw money at you.
Mm-hmm.
They're all 100 and 300 rupee coins.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you just clean up in there.
I guess you did pretty well.
Yeah, probably got like $2,000 in rupees like thrown at you. Going back to Mario,
Sure.
Because Mario games are, they're almost important to me just as much as Zelda games are. But Sherbert Land in Mario Kart 64 was one of my more favorite ones, and it was actually remade in Mario Kart Wii. Well, I don't say remade in Mario Kart Wii. It's the one that you're racing on ice, basically, which and has those damn penguins that slide in front of your path all the time.
Yeah, I hate them.
I know they're not programmed to seek you out, but I swear they do. They always are in my path, no matter what. I always freaking hit those damn penguins. I wish you could shoot them with like a Koopa shell and like knock them out of the course and make things so much easier. The vanilla in the original Super Mario Kart, Vanilla Lake, is it?
Yeah.
Vanilla Lake 2 has that really cool trick where if you jump into the lake at the starting line and drive out into the middle of it, and at the last second before Lakitu picks you up, if you turn slightly back to the left, you drive out far enough into the lake that you are considered on the course, and Lakitu will cross you over the finish line, and it'll count as a lap. So in 11 seconds, you can get a lap done, and you could smoke your competition. It's a great little cheat. So if you're playing Super Mario Kart with your friends, like I do from time to time, you could go to that course, you could beat them really easy just by jumping in the water.
And they will hate you for it.
Yes, and they'll call you a cheater, but hey, they programmed it in there.
That's right. Hey, you could do it in the game.
That's
you don't
right.
even need Game Genie.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many, like, I used to play Mario Kart Wii online. There's so many areas where people just leap across things that weren't meant to really be leapt across. The path clearly goes one way. people found out ways to exploit the physics in the game where they could just barely clear an area and shave off like 10 seconds. I'm like, kind of going against the sportsmanship and intent of this game. But if it's in there, you got to do it.
Agreed.
And keeping in with the N64, Super Mario 64 had that one level, Snowman's Land, which I think was a really neat level.
That was pretty neat.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, because there's also there's Cool Mountain also. Now, Cool Mountain is the one that has the cabin at the very top. You could race a penguin down. It also has where you have to bring a penguin back her baby. Also has where you have to kick a snowman's head down a mountain and guide it to the body. It's a really neat level because it's big and it's got like ski lifts in and everything. It's a really cool level, really cool level. But there's also Snowman's Land, which I think is a really cool way to get to it. I don't know how much Mario 64 you played, but I played it a lot because it was one of my favorites on the Nintendo 64. But there's this one room you go into up on the second floor, and you go into the room and it's just the one side is all mirrors, and there's a hint on one of the signposts that say look for something different in the mirror. And if you go up to this one wall, in the mirror it shows a painting that has like snowmen on it, I believe, and the wall is blank on your side. So if you walk into the wall, it'll take you to the level, Snowman's Land, which has an igloo in it and really cold water that can hurt you, and a really gigantic snowman that will blow you off a bridge if you try and cross. But it's a neat little level, but I think I actually prefer Cool Mountain better.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Cool Mountain. I don't think I personally made it to Snowman's Land, but I'm pretty sure I watched somebody play that because that sounds familiar.
Yeah. And the last one I got that I can think of right now, or I should say it's on my list, is that I thought was a really cool snow or ice level was in Mega Man X, the Chill Penguin level.
Ooh, yeah.
I thought that was a really cool level. I mean, I thought the whole game was like a really amazing game, but that was neat because I don't know, like back then it was like little things I thought were cool. That when you're in Mega Man X, you're in the snow, you're standing in the snow, you're actually standing in the snow instead of being, in front of the background snow or clearly behind a layer of snow. Like, no, he was in the snow. There was like a third dimension. He had some depth, and it's cool because like they hit items like deeper snow, and that was also one of the levels where you got to ride in those weird machines where they could punch really hard.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, Mega Man X games are pretty neat, actually.
Yeah. Chill Penguin, that hook up the top, just had it installed. Really cool hook. I know, right? That's a reference to Dorkly Bits, if anybody ever watches those. Check out the Chill Penguin is Chill video. Very funny.
He is chill.
Yeah. Well, looks like we're approaching the hour and 8-minute mark.
Hey,
so
pretty good. I honestly was not sure how much we would have to talk about, but
yeah,
we filled an episode.
Filled it up nicely. Yeah. I was worried. I'm like, I don't know what we could talk about, but yeah, we did. We got it. We got a lot of material. So
yeah,
hopefully you enjoyed our stories of yore.
I hope so. And there'll be more to come.
I think,
next time.
Ooh, what's our next topic going to be?
I think we're going to talk about the Super Mario Brothers series.
Good choice.
Yeah, I mean, you just mentioned that you always loved the series, and I did too. And,
yep.
It's one of the cornerstones of Nintendo.
Yeah, pretty much. It's their mascot character and flagship.
Yeah, and we've talked a lot about Zelda, and we're going to talk a lot more about Zelda in the future.
Yeah.
We'll give you a break. We'll bother you about Mario.
Cool. So that's so tune next time for Mario.
Yeah, we'll look forward to it. So, I guess that'll do it for this episode of Nintendo Kids.
All right.
Well, until next time, happy gaming.
Happy gaming.
Hey, ready. Fire.